Alright, let's see if it's twice as fun the second go around. Anthony Oxenhold, Access 228. I want to talk about Whistlin Diesel. And what's going on with Whistlin Diesel up there in Tennessee. Yes, I know. I've been getting away from doing local stuff. Well, not really home to do anything local. And by the way, yes, I may be sitting in the driver's seat, seatbelt's undone. I'm not driving, I'm sitting. I'm fixing to drive, but right now I'm sitting. I'm up here at a truck stop here in Springfield, Illinois. Freezing my ass off. It's 41 degrees. That being said, at least it's 40 or almost 50 degrees warmer than it was when I came up here. That being said, let's talk about Whistlin Diesel. First off, I'm not a fan of Whistlin Diesel. I'm really not. I think Whistlin Diesel takes trucks and good trucks and tears them up. I think he's wasteful. But nobody asked me for my opinion. I'm sure Cody from Whistlin Diesel certainly does not give a shit about my opinion on what he does. And I'm cool with that. Because my opinion on what he does not matter. He probably, if he saw what I did, he probably wouldn't like what I do. And that's fine. Great thing about being in this country, we have the freedom to do what the fuck we want within reason. That being said, I think Cody's getting fucked. I think the government, I think the state of Tennessee is out to fuck him. And I stand by that. This guy has like 20 million followers on social media. And with his 20 million followers, he also sells merchandise. I do not. Maybe I should. Maybe I should sell merchandise. Sell a little Access 228 with, you know, Access 228 on the front and fuck the government on the back. I like it. Little shirts and shit. Maybe some koozies. Lord knows we like to keep our beer cold here. That being said, the backstory on Cody is he bought a Ferrari. Now, I hadn't been following this too closely until I saw that they put a gag order on him, and I'll get to that later. Oh, sorry. I'm on some medicine and it made me sleep wrong. Been messing with my sleep, so I got a crick in my neck. Good old Channix, trying to quit. Just ain't got that far into it. Just started it Sunday. So, I'm still on the nicotine. Anyway, I digress. So Cody bought this Ferrari out in Montana. Now, I've drove a Ferrari. Ferraris are fun. I wanted that Ferrari I drove. I drove a little, I think it was an 87 or 88 Testarossa. Yes, it was white. Yes, I drove it in Miami. No, unfortunately, I was not wearing a pastel suit. But I did have a badge in my pocket that said Florida Department of Corrections, just not Miami-Dade PD. But anyway, I like Ferraris. Apparently he bought a $400,000 Ferrari. That Testarossa I drove did not cost $400,000, by the way. Bought it in Montana, registered it in Montana, and fucked it up in Texas. But apparently at some point it was in Tennessee. And they're hitting him with the tax evasion because he didn't pay Tennessee taxes on it, even though it was registered under a Montana LLC. Now, I have 2 active LLCs that I give a shit about. I have 3, I think, but I'm letting one go. The 2 I have is Access 228 and Oxon Hope Biloxi Publishing LLC. I don't make any money with them. They're just there in case something happens and I do decide to make money for them. And they have their own tax IDs and everything else. I've got all that. But with Whistlin Diesel, he actually makes money. I mean, a guy can go buy a $400,000 Ferrari. Apparently, he's doing something better than me. Let me back up. He can buy a $400,000 Ferrari and fuck it up. He can go buy a Cybertruck and fuck it up, which I thought was hilarious. I'm not too big of a fan of his, but I always wanted to destroy a Cybertruck myself. Of course, my way of destroying a Cybertruck would involve using a semi. You know, a W9 with a big brush guard on it. That'd be my way of destroying it. But I digress. Apparently he's doing something right because he can afford to go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, on these vehicles and fuck them up. So he's a better man than me. I'm not mad at his success. I actually think the kid's kind of smart. Obviously, he's got to be smarter than me. So, when he registered this thing out of Montana with his LLC that they're, I guess, claiming is fraudulent or fictitious or whatever, he pissed him off. Anything that fucks the government out of taxes, I'm cool with. All my heroes are tax evaders. I personally, understand that the government, the only thing they want to do with us is reach in our fucking pocket and squeeze our wallet till it pops. Sad world we live in, but it's the truth. But that's just how we are. Now, fast forward to the other side of this. They charged him, they arrested him. I didn't know about this part until today, and this is what really caught my interest. Last week, they stuck a gag order on him. I have to definitely draw the line here. Oh, before we get to a gag order, let's go back to this Montana license plate thing. Obviously, I drive a truck. I'm sitting in my fucking semi right now. Now, the company I'm driving for does not do this. I drive for a small company out of Mississippi. Our IRP, which is our license plate, our base plates, is out of Mississippi. Our trailer is tagged in Mississippi. Our IFTA is out of Mississippi. Everything's out of Mississippi. But how many trucking companies y'all see with Indiana license plates? Indiana IRPs. I think Werner has an Indiana IRP, and they're out of Omaha, Nebraska. I believe Swift has Indiana IRPs, and they're out of Phoenix, Arizona. New Mexico, Nebraska, Indiana, and Maine are probably the most they're the ones I see the most on semi-trucks. And there's companies that are in Tennessee. Covenant Transport, which is out of Chattanooga. Western Express, which is out of Nashville. I believe both of those uses IRPs out of Indiana. Are they then guilty of tax fraud? I want to know. I mean, you're going after one guy, Whistlin Diesel. Covenant Transport has like, what, 10,000 trucks almost? Western Express probably has, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 trucks. Maybe more. But their base plates are in a different state. Is the state of Tennessee going to start going after them? Is this going to affect these companies who have thousands and thousands of trucks registered in a different state? It begs the question, did this just open the loophole? If I was Whistlin Diesel's attorney, I would use that argument to try to thwart this case. That's just me, though. And Whistlin Diesel, I hope somebody sends this to you, because I think this is a valid argument, because this is exactly what you were charged with. Cody, if you see this, you're welcome. I see this shit every day driving up down the highways and byways of this country. I'm at a small truck stop here, but I guarantee you, if I was to pull up at a Love's, which is used quite a bit, or Petro, or TA, or Pilot, Flying J, I bet you if I walked in there and I started looking at all these mega fleets, I guarantee you over half, hell, there's a Werner truck over there. I don't feel like getting out of the truck at the moment. It's 41 degrees and freezing. But I bet you if I walked over there, knowing Werner Enterprises out of Omaha, Nebraska, I guarantee you he's got an Indiana base plate on the tractor. So, why is it good for commercial, but it's not good for him? That's question number one. Question number two I want to address is, first off, the judge in the case, go fuck yourself. The judge issued a gag order. Personally, I think that judge can gag on this. Anyway. Whew, had to catch myself there because I think gag orders stopping defendants from being able to talk about their case publicly, I think is bullshit. I think it is a violation of the First Amendment. They're claiming that it's going to make it harder to get a fair trial. First off, Cody shouldn't be on trial anyway, in my opinion. And I just cited why. But even more than that, he makes his money off of YouTube and social media, Instagram, Facebook. And you were stopping him from disclosing, quote, non-public things about his case. If I was him, I'm going to tell you right now, if it was me, you'd be putting my ass in jail, but not before I went through and put every bit of everything on my case out there for the public to see. Just because of that gag order. Just because you decided you wanted to tell me I couldn't say it. And then I'd sue you for First Amendment, for violating my right to freedom of speech. Because essentially, that's exactly what it is. It's freedom of speech. He has the right to make a video on any subject matter in which he chooses, subject to the terms and conditions of whatever platform he decides to put it on. So if he chooses to get on here and that little investigative post that he had, or the investigative report that he had, me personally, I'd have uploaded every document on that son of a bitch and put it online. And then went through line by line, rebutting and debunking everything on it. That's me, though. And when the judge said take it down, I'd looked at it and been like, take me to jail so I could sue you. And I would have filed a 1983 claim against that judge. Now, I think they're making an example out of him because he's young and he's popular. I really feel that. I don't think Cody's going to see any jail time over this. I think they're going to work it out and just say, hey, give me some money. I hope he doesn't do it. I hope he stands 10 toes down on business. I know goddamn good and well I would. Let this be a lesson to the Mississippi Department of Revenue. If I ever find myself in a similar situation where I run afoul of you, it's not going to be an easy court case for you. Because I'm not backing down. I honestly feel like they're fucking with him. And I'm gonna watch this. Now I'm interested. I wasn't before, mainly because I was preoccupied with doing other shit. And if you want this to make it to where I can bring it home to you, if you think this shit can't happen to you, Cody was just minding his own damn business. And the long dick of the fucking law decided he wanted to find its way into his asshole. If you think it can't find its way into yours, you got another thing coming. This is fucking wrong. The government uses us to pad their wallets. They don't give a fuck about us. That being said, I don't give a fuck about them. Y'all take care. I gotta go to work. Access 228, your host, Anthony Oxenholm.